You know, life has its ups and downs. Turn your pretty face into an ugly frown. Seems that when I fix one thing.
Hello, welcome to The Awakening. I'm your host, Angela Brown. Today's topic for discussion is called A Walking Miracle. He's a young man that he's worked out at the gym for quite some time, and I've worked out with him. And he's come today to share his story, and I am so damn pleased to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's so good to see you again. Tell us, what did you do yourself? How did you do it?
Well, it was about a year ago, June 16th.
It's only been a year ago?
Yep, it's only been a year.
Seems like forever.
It does, yeah. It's kind of, I was in the gym, like you've seen me many times before,
Yes.
and we were doing a typical leg workout, at Gold's. And I was doing, we just started squatting. We'd already done leg extensions, and we were all warmed up, ready to go into the leg room.
Squatting is when you put the bar on your shoulders and you bring it down.
Exactly, yes.
How much weight did you have?
We were doing 225, which for me at that point would have just been a warm up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that was, and we had done one set already. We were in our second set of it, and I had done 6, and it felt heavy that day. So, knowing me, the hard-headed I am.
You persevered.
I did. I said one more rep. Okay, so I went down, and when I came up, I knew right away something just wasn't right. I racked the weight, and I felt this it's really kind of difficult to explain, but I felt kind of like a wave of pressure start in my lower back and kind of work its way up through my torso. And I told my training partner, Ann, I said, something is not right. I just don't feel right. But of course, like I said, the hard head that I am,
yes.
We proceeded to go on leg presses. I thought that I could have been in the midst of
You thought you were Tarzan. You know that.
I thought I was like He-Man, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, yeah, we proceeded to do like 3 more sets of leg presses, and then finally at that point, I didn't even talk to her. I just basically said, we got to go. I grabbed my stuff, and we headed out to the parking lot, and I really just didn't feel right. At the time, my wife at the time was working out in Elkridge. I texted her and told her that I think I'm having a heart attack. And so she said, look, go home, I'm going to call. I went home, I grabbed my son, and I tried to drive myself down to the hospital down in Anne Arundel. So I made it, I live in Crofton, I made it down to the end of the road, and at that point I couldn't feel my right foot anymore.
Oh my
God. Yeah, and my son's in the car, and it was around rush hour, so I knew that this wasn't going to happen. I proceeded to go back home. My wife had in the process, she had called the ambulance. The ambulance got to my house. And, I'm sitting there kind of joking because, like I'm 42, what's going to happen to me?
Well, you don't look 42 if that makes you feel any better.
So, yeah, the ambulance gets there, the EMTs come in, I'm on the sofa, and they just go through the whole thing and everything, and they're like, we're going to take you down just because you think you may be having a heart attack. And on the way, they're giving me the nitroglycerin, asking me if I feel better, and I'm like, no, I feel the same. Right. So, I get to Anne Arundel Hospital, and they're pretty much going through the motions and everything, and they're like, well, I think that, you're so young that probably nothing could have happened to you. So basically they're like, I think that we should just give you 2 aspirin and send you home.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so luckily there was a really good cardiologist there at the time, and I told him, I said, look, I think something's wrong. I said, because now it's not just my right foot that I can't feel, it's basically like my whole lower extremity on the right, my butt, my hamstring, I couldn't feel them anymore. Mm-hmm. So the doctor said, look, I just think we ought to err on the side of caution and get a CT scan for you. Mm-hmm. So well, I went and did that, and when I came back, he said, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
He said, do you want your son to leave the room? Mm-hmm. And we said, why? He said, well, you got a life-threatening condition.
Right.
Which was an aortic dissection.
What is an aortic dissection, Chris?
It's basically when you've torn your aorta, you've separated your aorta.
From your heart?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, at that point it was it became real scary.
I'm sure.
So I was, they found a hospital for me, thank God, in time. Mm-hmm. And I was flown to University of Maryland.
Right.
Yeah, shock trauma. So.
Did you realize you had done something that bad?
No. No,
that was bad, because you don't look like the type that would do with something that's like that.
No, not at all. So yeah, I mean, I had emergency open heart surgery,
Right.
and they replaced my aortic valve, and I was in the
Are
hospital.
you okay to go on?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Okay,
okay.
okay.
It's just, it's very traumatic.
Yes.
So
You're
yeah.
real. You are a real person.
Yeah, now. So
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because before this, I don't think I would have even invited you out for a Coke.
right.
Because you really acted kind of snobbish at the gym, and
Yeah.
you went with your buddies, and I thought, hey,
Right.
I'm here. I just want to say hi, you
Right,
know.
right.
But you know
Yeah.
what woke me up? When you came down, I don't know, it was a couple of weeks ago, and I
Right,
was working
right.
at, you were sweaty and I was sweaty, and I had a hug. We gave each other a
Right.
hug. And I thought, he is a new man. He's changed. He's human
yeah.
now. He's
Absolutely,
human.
absolutely,
All right,
yeah.
now I'll shut up. You go on.
Oh, and then I mean, I was in surgery for 20 hours.
20
hours,
hours.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, I was in the hospital after that for like 3 months, steady.
Why so
Yeah.
long, Chris?
Basically, what had happened, it would have been like an easy, kind of like, well, not so much of an easy repair, but they replaced my aortic valve with a
Right.
synthetic valve. So now, for life, I'm on blood thinners. I'll be on Coumadin forever.
Coumadin forever.
Yes. And so they did fix the aorta. But what happened was, evidently, I had like an aneurysm at the time, and they had to go back in, and they had to
Okay.
fix that. So
Isn't
they,
that like a blood clot?
well, it's like, it was bleeding still. So they had to go back in, open me up. After they'd already done the open heart surgery, they had
They
to
break your bones. I know they cut you
they
up. They did that
re-crack-
to my
yeah,
late husband.
they-
Re-crack you.
They
Oh, my
cracked me
God.
back open, yeah, and so I was in there for another 8 hours. So, yeah, finally, you know, and so, I mean, I went through the whole recovery process of being in the hospital, and I was in there for 3 months, and they, it's crazy. They sent me home. Finally, I was able to go home, and I wasn't even home for 12 hours, and I had a blood clot that shot from my leg into my heart.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I had.
You were mobile too long, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. And the thing was that they knew that I had blood clots, but they thought that because they had gotten my blood to a certain thinness, that I wouldn't, that they had gone. So, but that really wasn't the case. The blood clot got loose. It went into my heart, and I had a heart attack.
Oh,
so
God.
yeah, I went. Like I said, I wasn't home 12 hours, and I was back in Anne Arundel, and the guy had told me, the doctor said, you've got congestive heart failure. I said, that can't be possible.
Right.
I just, you know, I know they fixed everything. I can't, and they you know, they did. My heart function had gone from 50%, which would be your normal heart function, to about 10%. I had lost like almost about half of my heart function.
Right.
So
So
yeah.
what did they do? Have to open you up again?
No, they didn't actually. Luckily, it was a long road through medication, and I was back in the hospital for like another 3 months.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
and you know, I had like no respiratory function whatsoever.
So you had machines living for you.
I was on oxygen all the time. Yeah, and then I mean, in the midst of that, I had a collapsed lung. So to add to it, yeah. So it was a long road, and like I said, I mean, you know, you just really don't know what's going to happen.
You have a very pretty smile.
Thank you.
I can see you've gone through a lot of hell.
Oh yeah,
Hell to heaven at your back.
definitely.
And you lost your mom shortly after this,
And my grandmother.
and your grandmother both to breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How did you go from day to day? Are you very close with God?
I am now.
You are now. See, God works miracles.
Yeah.
He really, really does.
Like I was saying, my mom was in AA for a long time, and that was, you know,
AA?
God had a lot to do with that.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I mean, I've adopted a lot of their sayings. You know.
Really?
Yeah. One
I
day
lost
at a
my
time.
own mother at 51. She died from alcoholism.
Right.
She had cirrhosis, so
Okay.
she 51, very young. But you've accepted all of this stuff now, as you're saying. You're dealing with it.
Yeah.
You're more human.
Yeah. I mean, I think.
Please don't be mad at me for saying this.
Oh,
but
no.
I've known you for quite some time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not close, but I mean, I can see your mannerisms and things like that.
Right,
But
we
now
want-
you feel for other people.
I do. I'm a lot more compassionate.
Yes.
And I definitely, you know, I take things. I live more day to day. You know, I mean, I live for the moment a lot more. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, at 42, my life could have ended, and I have an 11-year-old son. So.
You know, your son is fantastic. He was working on a machine. I don't know where you were. And I asked him, I said, are you Chris Meyer's son? He goes, yes. And he looked kind of scared. But Chris, after we talked for about 10 minutes,
Right.
he stopped working out and everything.
Right.
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
You're a good father.
Thank you.
Now you've gone through a divorce. What
Yes.
was that like?
It was tough. It was tough. I mean, I think I give my wife a lot of credit because I mean, when I was sick, she was at the hospital like every day. You know, she was there a lot, and it was just it put a tremendous strain on our marriage. You know, me
Yes.
being sick and her, she works full time and everything. So it's just, I mean, I don't really blame her. We just kind of grew apart, went our separate ways and stuff.
Right.
So.
I think probably it's very hard to deal with something like you have. So how many months were you in the hospital? 3 or 6?
I think, well, grand total, I was in the hospital like 6 months out of
Oh,
last
my
year.
God.
Yeah.
What
exactly.
could you do in the hospital, Chris?
Nothing. I was basically, I mean, obviously for the first 3 months, I couldn't even get out of bed, really. So.
You couldn't go to the bathroom by yourself?
Yeah, I had a catheter and stuff,
Oh,
so it was bad. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of interesting moments at the hospital. The
Tell
nurses,
Tell me something.
I don't. It's
Tell
kind
the viewers something. They want to know.
They want to know.
They want to know. Tell them the good and the bad.
All right, I'll tell them the bad. The
Tell
bad.
the bad.
This is the kind of the really bad. Is when after surgery, you know, I wasn't eating. I was on like a feeding tube and stuff, or IV for feeding and stuff. And so every time I would take my pills, they would give me like Colace, you know, like a stool softener.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
So
yes.
I you know, we're talking about 2 weeks into my initial stay in the hospital, and I hadn't had a bowel movement or anything. So you know, I'm like one night finally, I'm like, I think it's time, and so I'm ringing the bell, telling the woman, because I couldn't get out of bed without help. So I'm ringing the bell, telling her, like, I need to go to the bathroom, you know, and they're like, okay, we'll be there. You'll be there. And then I'm ringing the bell a little bit more urgently, like, I really need to go to the bathroom, right? So at some point in time, it just, you know, it just all came out. Yeah. And so when they got there, they were like, we really should have come sooner.
Yeah, so it's your own damn fault. You should have been here sooner.
Yeah,
You
it was a
warned them.
mess. It
You
was a
warned
mess.
them.
Exactly.
So you had a feeding tube. You weren't chewing whole foods.
Yeah, I was having no food. They were giving me like IV food, you know, feeding and stuff like that. So, but it got a lot better. And I mean, I just want to, you know, I really want to thank the staff at University of Maryland.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Who was your doctor?
this is the God's honest truth. I think that somebody was obviously looking out for me because
Somebody was.
Yeah, somebody was. My doctor was Johannes Bonatti, who was actually a world famous cardiac surgeon from Austria.
Okay.
And he works at University of Maryland, and I just lucked out because they were calling around to all the different hospitals when I was in the hospital to try to find, obviously, I need this emergency surgery. They called Georgetown, they called Johns Hopkins. Everybody, you know, was busy.
Washington
They were doing
Hospital Center?
no, they called the big three, I guess, Johns Hopkins, Georgetown. They finally got through. Obviously, you know, everybody was doing these heart transplants.
Right.
And so, you know, I mean, I don't know if you know, but this is what John Ritter died of.
Yes.
He
Yes,
died
he
in
did.
aortic dissection. He was misdiagnosed, died
Yes.
like a couple hours later. So, you know, like I said, once again, I was just, there couldn't have been any more luck involved in it.
It
but
wasn't your time.
It wasn't my time, no. But like I said, Dr. Johannes Bonatti, just the absolute best surgeon. And I think like the fact that I got hooked up with him was, just a
It's
big
divine
plus.
intervention.
It was.
God was watching over you.
Yeah.
You weren't very spiritual before, were you?
No.
See?
No.
You've changed. I can see it in your eyes.
Right.
You're more, I think you're happier.
Oh, I'm definitely happier.
Even though you've gone through all of your own personal hell, I think you're happier.
Yeah.
But you're more honest and open now. Not that you were a liar,
No, right.
but you just kind of, I don't need nobody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was an awakening for me, obviously, and like I said, it made me more compassionate to more, you know, to other people and stuff, and yeah, and then obviously, you know, my mom passing away just had a lot to do with it too.
How old was your mom?
She was 66.
66.
Yeah.
I know she came to see you. She was probably devastated, wasn't she?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a shame. And your dad has already died, or is he alive?
No, he's alive
come
still.
see you
Yes,
too?
he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, and it actually was good for our relationship as well because we were kind of estranged at the time.
Really?
So yeah, we have like a really good relationship now. So.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
It's great. And I mean, but my mom was married to a real special guy for like 25 years, so I actually consider him like my dad.
Your dad, he raised you, okay?
Yeah, he's great.
Your mom, tell me a little bit about your mom.
Oh, I can't.
Okay. I know every time I saw you, I asked you how she was doing.
Yeah, she's a great woman.
She was a great woman. I'm sure she had to be. She raised you. You had to have an awakening, though, in order to be the person that you are.
I did.
Were you angry about it, Chris? Did you ever say, why me? Why me?
Yeah, I did at the time. Are you talking about the whole incident with me?
Yeah, the whole incident with you.
Yeah, I think you go through the emotions of, you know, like, why did it happen to me? And I mean, So they had to send in the psychiatrist to the hospital because
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I had suicidal thoughts. I won't even lie. I thought, you know, my life as I know it is over.